Werewolf in Love. In a quaint little town nestled between dense forests and rolling hills, lived a man named Daniel. He was happily married to Eleanor, a woman of captivating beauty and warmth. Their love was the talk of the town, a storybook romance that seemed destined for eternity. However, beneath the veneer of domestic bliss, a chilling secret lurked. Eleanor, with her sparkling eyes and auburn hair, was a werewolf. She had never hidden her true nature from Daniel, confessing her monstrous secret early in their relationship. Remarkably, Daniel's love for Eleanor transcended the fear that would have paralyzed most. He embraced her, both figuratively and literally, promising to stand by her side no matter the challenges they faced. As the couple settled into married life, Daniel found solace in the reassuring words of his werewolf bride. Eleanor swore she would never harm him, that her love for him was stronger than her primal instincts. Despite the fears that occasionally crept into the recesses of his mind, Daniel chose to believe in the strength of their love. Yet every night, as the moon cast its silvery glow upon the world, Eleanor's hunger grew. The temptation to succumb to her lupin urges tugged at the edges of her consciousness. She would watch Daniel sleep, his vulnerability tempting her with each peaceful breath. For months, Eleanor fought against the growing hunger, her love for Daniel acting as a fragile barrier between her humanity and the beast within. She assured herself that she could resist the urge, that she could overcome the primal instincts that threatened to consume her. One fateful night, however, the hunger proved too potent to resist. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an ethereal glow upon the couple's bedroom. As Daniel slept soundly beside her, Eleanor felt the insatiable craving intensify. The internal struggle reached a breaking point, and with a heavy heart she succumbed to the urge that had haunted her for so long. She leaned over Daniel, her breath hot against his neck, and sank her fangs into his throat. For a moment, time stood still as she tasted the metallic richness of his blood. The sensation was intoxicating, and she found herself unable to stop. In one swift motion, Eleanor devoured him, her husband and the love of her life disappearing into the voracious maw of her lupine form. As the final echoes of her monstrous feast subsided, a profound sadness washed over Eleanor. The room, once filled with the warmth of their love, now felt desolate and cold. She was left alone, surrounded by the remnants of her unthinkable act. The moon, witness to the tragic event, hung in the night sky, casting its judgment upon the grieving werewolf. Eleanor, now consumed by remorse and loss, wept for the man she had devoured. The weight of her actions pressed upon her, the realization of what she had done sinking in with unbearable heaviness. The once happy town, oblivious to the tragedy that had unfolded within the confines of the couple's home, slept soundly as Eleanor grappled with the consequences of her insatiable hunger. The morning sun rose, casting its golden light upon the town. Eleanor, forever haunted by the memory of her husband's taste on her lips, retreated into the shadows, a broken werewolf burdened by the immense sadness of a love that had tragically turned to devouring darkness. What's wrong with Michael? In the quiet town of Serenity Falls, a tight-knit group of friends known as The Circle lived seemingly ordinary lives. Among them was Michael, a sweet and unassuming soul whose gentle nature endeared him to everyone. However, the tranquility of Serenity Falls shattered when a series of mysterious disappearances gripped the town, leaving the community in a state of fear. As the Circle gathered at their favorite cafe, anxiety painted across their faces, concern for their missing neighbors hung in the air like a heavy fog. The disappearance of the townspeople became the focal point of their conversations, and a pervasive unease settled over the once harmonious group. Amid the unsettling atmosphere, the Circle couldn't help but notice the strange occurrences that unfolded when the sun dipped below the horizon. Odd noises echoed through the night, whispers of something unnatural that sent shivers down their spines. Their concern deepened when they realized these mysterious sounds emanated from Michael's home. Determined to unravel the enigma surrounding their friend, the Circle initiated a covert investigation. Late one night, fueled by a mixture of curiosity and dread, they ventured to Michael's residence. As they approached the quaint house, the air thickened with tension, and a foreboding silence settled over Serenity Falls. The friends discovered an ancient tome hidden in Michael's study, filled with arcane symbols and dark rituals. As they deciphered the cryptic text, The shocking truth emerged. Michael was a 6000-year-old werewolf, a creature cursed to roam through the ages. The revelation sent shockwaves through the circle, their sweet and gentle friend concealing a monstrous secret. The once unbreakable bond that defined the circle now faced an existential threat. As the full moon loomed overhead, Michael's true nature began to manifest. The group, torn between loyalty and self-preservation, witnessed the horrific transformation of their dear friend into a primal force beyond their understanding. Fur sprouted from Michael's skin, bones shifted and cracked, and a feral hunger gleamed in his otherworldly eyes. The sweet friend they once knew was replaced by a creature driven by ancient instincts. The circle, paralyzed by fear and disbelief, watched as the werewolf prowled through the moonlit night. In a desperate attempt to escape the clutches of the supernatural, the circle scattered into the darkness. The once protective shield of friendship shattered as the werewolf, guided by an insatiable hunger, pursued its former companions with relentless determination. One by one, the circle fell victim to the monstrous creature. Anguished cries echoed through the night as Michael, now consumed by the primal urges of his cursed existence, devoured each friend in a gruesome display of savagery. The serene town of Serenity Falls became a haunting backdrop to a tragedy born from the shadows. As the moon waned and the night settled into an eerie silence, Michael, the lone survivor of the supernatural carnage, reverted to his human form. The town, scarred by the unfathomable horror that had transpired, remained oblivious to the monstrous legacy that lurked within the seemingly serene streets. Serenity Falls, once a haven of peace, now bore witness to the aftermath of a friendship torn asunder by the curse of an ancient werewolf. The sweet and unassuming Michael, forever haunted by the echoes of his friend's screams, retreated into the shadows, leaving behind a town grappling with the horrors that lurked beneath the facade of serenity. The futility of resistance. In the heart of the city, towering skyscrapers loomed over the bustling streets, and within their shadows dwelled a man named Vincent Harding. A highly successful lawyer, Vincent was admired by his colleagues for his sharp mind and respected by his clients for his unyielding dedication. Outside the courtroom, he effortlessly navigated social circles, hosting elaborate parties in his stylish apartment that overlooked the city's glittering lights. Beneath Vincent's polished exterior, however, lurked a monstrous secret. He battled a sinister hunger, one that threatened to shatter the carefully constructed facade of his amiable persona. Every day, he grappled with the savage urges that clawed at the corners of his consciousness, an insatiable desire to harm those around him. Tormented by his own darkness, Vincent sought refuge in ancient texts and forbidden rituals, desperate to sever the malevolent urges that consumed him. In the dim glow of candlelight, he performed an arcane spell, chanting words that resonated with an unsettling power. The air in his apartment grew heavy as an otherworldly force wrapped itself around him, promising liberation from the twisted desires that haunted his every waking moment. But the spell was a malevolent entity in disguise, a force that fed on the darkness within Vincent's soul. As the incantation reached its climax, an agonizing pain seized him, a primal force tearing through his very being. The room echoed with inhuman howls as the ritual backfired, intensifying the malevolence that lurked within Vincent. When the torment subsided, Vincent stood in the center of the room, his body transformed into a nightmarish manifestation of his true nature. Fur covered his once human skin, and his eyes gleamed with an otherworldly hunger. The spell, instead of freeing him, had unleashed the beast within, turning Vincent into a creature of the night. The city, unaware of the horror that had been unleashed, continued its rhythmic pulse. Vincent, now a creature of the shadows, prowled the streets with a predatory glee. His insatiable hunger intensified, and the desire to harm, to devour, consumed him completely. Vincent returned to his apartment building, his predatory instincts leading him to the unsuspecting neighbors who had once considered him a friend. As the moon hung in the night sky, casting an eerie glow upon the city, he unleashed his newfound savagery upon the building's occupants. The corridors echoed with the screams of the doomed as Vincent, now a monstrous werewolf, tore through the once familiar halls. Panic and terror spread like wildfire as he hunted down each neighbor, his claws leaving a trail of blood and horror in his wake. The building that had once been a community of friends became a gruesome spectacle of carnage. The morning sun began to cast its rays upon the cityscape, signaling the end of Vincent's nocturnal rampage. The once successful lawyer, now a bloodthirsty creature, retreated into the shadows, leaving behind a building stained with the remnants of his monstrous feast. As the city awoke to the dawn of a new day, it remained oblivious to the horror that had transpired within its very heart. Vincent, forever cursed to roam the night as a werewolf, vanished into the urban landscape, leaving only the chilling memory of the once successful and nice man who had succumbed to the darkness that lurked within.